Welcome back on in, everybody, to a live stream episode of the StricklyNFL podcast. Going to give some time for people to filter in, filter out, whatever you want to do on this late Thursday night. Not only do we have a football game today, we had a great basketball game today that I did not
Yes.
watch, but thankfully Shwin watched it. So if we talk about it, he'll have us covered over there. Before we go too much further, just want to remind everybody that the Strickland does have a Patreon, where you can find full StricklyNFL episodes behind the $9 tier, along with Schwinn's bi-weekly solo pod and a bunch of different other, great selling points that we have, like our Discord, points off, percentages off of our merch, exclusive articles. That's the word I was looking for. And other great stuff. So with Nick's season back in full swing, our Patreon is the place to be. I mean, I'm always in there talking now, like even on days where I would have class, I would be talking in there, football, basketball, whatever it was. So I know Schwinn's always in there too, so you can come chat with us. Also, this live stream is sponsored by FanDuel. As you can see in that top right corner right there, FanDuel is the best sportsbook you can get. Using for all my wagers that we're going to talk about here, potentially too down the line on this live stream. So if you're looking to place any wagers and you are not looking to get arrested like Chauncey Billups or Damon Jones or Terry Rozier is the other one, head over to FanDuel and bet responsibly. All right. So we're going to start with the Thursday night game. It ended up being a laugher, but I thought it was going to be a pretty good game. To my surprise, do you know Justin Herbert's stats the last two times he's played a Brian Flores defense?
He owns Flores weirdly, right?
Yeah, it's very weird. So today he had 230 and 3 in the air. He had 60 on the ground on 7 carries. And then the last
pick.
He did add a pick on a tip ball. He did. Yeah.
Just want to be accurate, you know?
No, you're right. We have to properly document happenings for everybody to know. But so he did have the pick, and then the last time that he played Brian Flores, he had 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. So he's putting together a nice little resume against one of the best play callers, one of the best play designers on the defense side of the football in the league.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of that. I mean, it's impressive. Flores obviously gets the best of it out of a lot of guys. He gets the best of a lot of guys. But I also I don't know. I sometimes feel like he can veer almost like it's so crazy some of the stuff he does that when it goes bad, it can go really bad. So I that might be part of it. And Herbert catches him at the right time. I don't know. It helped that his full kind of complement of weapons was back now. Not outside of Omarion Hampton. But you had you got Quentin Johnson back, Lad McConkey, welcome to the season. Get all that, but Gadsden's a nice little find for them. He's been nice. But
he's a vertical he's such a vertical threat, and at the broadcast said he's up to 250, 255 pounds to be a converted college receiver. That's a huge deal. Getting
what's a vertical threat? I haven't watched one of those in years. But no, I also I'm gonna be honest. The reason I just can't. It's really hard to care about this Vikings team right now because Carson Wentz is what he is. We kind of know what he is, which is a highly turnover prone quarterback who has zero concept of 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. I got to get the ball out. It's 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. You guys are still blocking for me, right? Everything is good. I have time back here. But I just feel like they're hopeless. They're hopeless. He's not good. Last weekend against the Eagles, it was crazy they lost that game because they just couldn't do anything in the red zone. And they couldn't do anything in the red zone because Wentz doesn't hit tight pockets or tight windows. And then he just keeps taking these ridiculous sacks. They can't run the fucking ball, which is this is the second year in a row they can't run the ball at all. I don't know. I can't say I have followed them enough to say, but it feels like KOC is maybe dropped off a little bit this year from his like insane coaching run that he's been on. Also, like, look, the quarterback situation is worse than it was. Like, we're now finding out, right, that Darnold wasn't just like a KOC thing. Darnold is actually like a good quarterback now. So I just it's I don't want to take Herbert had a nice game. I don't want to take away from that. But I also wonder if sometimes you go into these games and you're like, if you're Herbert, you're just kind of looking and you're like, all right, like I don't if it's like I don't want to say it's no pressure, but the pressure is lowered because you're looking across the field at the guy that's like your opposite number, and you're just kind of like there's no shot this guy's doing anything today. And I just feel like because of that, you can play a little bit looser.
Yeah.
And whatever. I'm not, again, he played really well. You can't take that away from him, but this Vikings team right now just feels like they're
going through motions right now. Like they're showing up to
they're
play
awful
and like
to watch.
Yeah. I mean, start just right here. 9 carries for Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason for 18 yards. Like there was 2 garbage time carries for Xavier Scott where he broke off like a 10 and like a 6-yard run, something like that. There was nothing on the ground for this team. Even when they get the ball to Jefferson, it's not in those back-breaking type of ways where like
it's not explosive.
It's not. It's like it'll be on 3rd and 18. He'll catch a 15-yard out route, and then the field goal team or the punt team comes on, and you're like, all right, well, we survived that. It's just there's nothing explosive with Addison. 3 catches, 26 yards. Hawkinson has kind of looked slow all year, and he wasn't really explosive to begin with. So 2 for 26 for him. I don't know what this team does. Like they're 3-4. I know they have their pick now, thankfully for them. So maybe that gives them some incentive to stay on the JJ McCarthy path, which I think that like discourse around him and like Wentz and the soft benching thing is just so stupid.
I don't think he's actually hurt. Like there's no way that they were like, you know what, like Carson Wentz he's worth playing this year. Like they don't want to play Carson Wentz. They are playing Carson Wentz because he's hurt. It's obviously not a benching. I think it's nonsense. Would he be better than Wentz? Like, who knows? But you have to find out what you have in him. So this is just like bad for them. This right, playing out this stretch with Wentz, it serves absolutely no purpose for them. Like, and I'm not blaming them because it is what it is. Like your starter got hurt, you had to have a backup quarterback. Fine. It just sucks because it's like you're not learning anything about JJ, and then you're also like, I mean, I'm waiting for like Jefferson to have the his wide receiver diva moment. Yeah, just his like Jamar Chase moment where he's like on the sideline just losing it.
Do you think that is coming? Because I don't think it's like after getting the contract he got, knowing that it's a backup, and by all means, like it doesn't seem like he's not getting his targets still. Like he got 11 targets today, and he had decent statistical games, 7 for 74. So like, I don't think that's coming.
I don't know. But like, I don't think it's about the money for like Chase got paid too, right? And like, I don't think for these guys that, I mean, I hope not. I don't think it's about the money because they got paid, right? So it's not like they freak out because like I'm playing for my contract, you're fucking me over type of deal. But they're competitive. Like they want to like play in games that matter and feel like they have a chance. And I don't know. I guess they were in the Eagles game. They were in the London game, right? They won the London game against the Browns.
Yeah.
Like they've been in these games, so I guess it's not atrocious. It just feels like, I don't know. It just is so horrible watching them. Like I genuinely don't even. I didn't think this game it was not competitive at any point. I didn't expect the game to be competitive at any point. And you're also seeing like the fact that they had basically 2 drafts where they got absolutely nothing out of those classes. That's catching up to them now on the field. and you can't just make up for that by spending in free agency. The offensive line additions they made, those guys have had injury issues. They had injury issues when they
Darisaw
signed
left the
them.
game again today too. So
yeah, I mean, without Darisaw, they're fucked. Like, that's just done. Like, I don't know what else. Like, that's just been a fact forever. Darisaw is probably their most important player until JJ establishes himself as any type of like franchise quarterback. So yeah, without Darisaw, they're done. Who are the guys they signed? They signed like Will Fries and
it was Will Fries. They've paid now. They paid Hawk. I think last offseason they paid Hawk. They paid Aaron Jones last offseason. They brought in Adam Thielen with his deal, and they gave up like 2 day 3 picks for him, like a 4 and a 5 or something like that.
I think they got back like a 7th or something too, but yeah, they
maybe, but like just until I can look up and find the exact like trade package for him. In his 7 games now this season with the Vikings, total of 10 targets, 5 catches for 47 yards. What is that? What?
It's not, to some extent too. If you're KOC, you're probably like, I am being let down by my front office. So I don't know. I really struggle to like come away with, for the Chargers, this is like a good get right game. I don't think they've looked anywhere near sharp starting with that Giants game from the way they started. Yeah. They obviously lose to the Giants. They eked out a victory against the Dolphins. And now they get this game, which they needed this pretty badly. After they got destroyed by the Colts. I mean, that was embarrassing on Sunday. But they needed this. It's a good get right game for them. But this is also kind of like, I think, where this early in the season, the records of teams that are qualitatively on completely different levels can still be close. And that's kind of what I thought of this game, where just looking at the matchup coming in, I don't know. Did you really think that the Chargers and Vikings were on a similar level? Because I didn't. I was like, I understand the Chargers have kind of had some issues lately, but I have faith that they have enough talent here. And as much as I like to clown Herbert, like, he's clearly like a really good quarterback, whereas Wentz is,
you could just leave it there. Yeah.
So it just felt like a good spot for them, and that's exactly how it played out. And they didn't fuck around, which is the important thing.
Yeah. I mean, you expect, right? Like, Jim Harbaugh team is not gonna like take it for granted. I don't know, fuck around, play with their food, whatever phrase you want to use. And just to go back to that Thielen trade, they traded a 2026 fifth for 2026 fifth and a 2027 fourth for a 2026 seventh and a conditional 2027 fifth. So
I'm guessing that the conditions may not hit on that fifth.
I don't know. maybe not. I don't think so.
Aaron Gordon is 8 of 8 from 3.
Why couldn't he do that in Game 7 against the Thunder? Is my question. Didn't he have? He had an insane. He had an insane shooting jump last season. I remember.
Yeah,
to like 40-something% from 3. Yeah. In those 3 games where Addison was out, Thielen's total stat line was 2 for 26. If he didn't give you production in those 3 games, then what the fuck was like the point of anything?
I just don't understand the point of stuff like that, where it's like you're trading picks for this short-term thing, and it's like what is Adam Thielen in 2025? He's like, he put up numbers last year in Carolina, and I think there's always like a value to a veteran receiver, but like, you have Justin Jefferson, so you don't like just find some fucking guy that can understand the playbook to come in for 3 weeks, and you're fine. Like, it's fine. You can live with Jalen Naylor as your 2 for 3 weeks.
Even so, Thielen was a free agent this offseason. And if you can't scrounge up I looked up his contract just to see what numbers we're talking about, but like I can't imagine it was anything that would make you have to significantly shift around your future. And if you can't sift around and find 5, 6, 7, $8 million with an NFL salary cap, like you're probably just not doing a great job of bookkeeping. And it was a 1 year, $8 million deal with a $4 million cap hit this season. So the $4 million ended up costing you a fourth and a fifth in these next two drafts, and you're already short on draft capital as it is. Like I didn't know how much of a ugly spot they were in draft capital wise. I know they had the short draft class last offseason, but they just keep shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you could have just signed like Matt Collins. You could have signed fucking so many guys. Like, it's just nonsense to me. Go trade if you still just play it out. If you still needed a receiver like a week into the season or something, you can always find that in the trade market.
Yeah, you could go get Jalen Waddle for a second. We'll
is that the going rate? Is that the alleged going rate?
Supposedly it's like a 2 and a 4, but I honestly don't think he gets traded. I just came across a video of Dante DiVincenzo lowlights. Was it that
He was
bad?
terrible last night. He was so bad last night. But the guy isn't a point guard. You don't need any more evidence of this. Like we know this and have known it for a while. He's not a point guard. It's fine. Maybe don't start him at point. Just really dumb. I don't know what they're doing over there right now.
Shams tweeted that he was being awarded with the starting point guard spot. I don't know if you remember the verbiage of that tweet. It was like, congrats, Dante. We're gonna play you in this position where you have no fucking chance.
You have won the competition, and your prize is to be the starting point guard.
The Thursday game, I think it's good to leave there. The only thing I'll say is what's up?
I was gonna say, should we revisit or should we talk about what happened last Sunday?
No.
I mean, I know you don't want to, but
we will. The last thing I want to say is I think the edge duo now that they have with Mac and trading for Odafe Owe, which just really seemed ridiculous from the Ravens' point of view. That's a pretty nice rebound in the edge group. Like to have those couple weeks where Mac was out and you literally had nothing on the edges. To get a running mate now along with Mac back, like that changes their defense a whole lot. So
also nice of them to like Vidal seems like he's got some juice, got some pop.
He does, yeah. The thing, like he's probably the running back too when Hampton comes back because Najee tore his Achilles. So I mean, he was good for them last season, and I don't think that he even made the roster this year because of special team stuff. Like Haskins made the roster over him because of special teams, and Haskins didn't get a touch today. So 23 for 117 and a touchdown.
Haskins made the team because he played in Michigan. That's why Haskins made the team, by the way.
Yeah, because he has the same sweater that you do. That's why.
Yep. It's because he wears a blue collar to work like Sharon Moore.
Yes, it brings the lunch pail, doesn't he? Correct. All right, so let's break my heart. Yep, let's do that. The Giants. What was that record of like teams that are winning by 19 with 6 minutes left? Like 1,000 something.
It was like 1,605 teams or something like that. Like 160. It was like literally they'd all won. And you know, then they didn't. Shit, man.
My initial reaction to it isn't even. Like, I want to play the blame game and be like Bowen this and like Deontay Banks that. I want to blame offensive play calling also, but at the end of the day, if you can blame pretty much every single level of your team, right? If you can blame the offense, and you can blame Dart for missing the kill shot in the fourth quarter on the go ball. You can blame the ends and Dex for not getting home to put the game away in the fourth quarter. You can blame Deonte Banks for not being able to cover a fucking water bottle. Like, there's so much blame to go around that the reality is they get outplayed by so much in those last 10 minutes that the other 50 didn't matter. And that's just the truth of it. They clearly were uncomfortable on the last two drives. I don't know exactly why Brian Dable loves to go run, pass, and like kind of put his tail between his legs when it's time to ice the game. They weren't really running the ball all that well.
I had such a problem with that. The first drive where you go run, pass, I'll like live with that because you had a 2-score lead. I can kind of be like, all right, I get why you're just like, let's not fuck up here, and I can understand that one. The second one to me is a joke because, okay, on first down you run it, fine, whatever. You get like 2 yards or something.
It was 2 yards, yeah.
Yeah. The second down one is such a joke to me, and it's a joke for a couple of reasons. One is that if it's another bad run, now you're in an obvious passing down, right? And you're on the road with a rookie quarterback, which is its own challenge. But on top of rookie quarterback, you also have no wide receivers that have any juice other than Wan'Dale. And Wan'Dale, they were just sitting on him, right? After a certain while, they're like, okay, well, we're just not going to let this one guy beat us. And then other than that, they've got tight ends. Like, there's nothing else here that worries us. So that is bad. And the other part is Jackson Dart is a threat with the ball in his hands. Like, he is a threat. He's a running threat with the ball in his hands. So why don't you get him on the move out of the pocket and give him a fucking option? Give him a run pass option effectively out of the pocket. Like, hey, we're going to run, some basic like levels concept, right? When you roll out, if it's there, take the throw. If it's not, stay in bounds, run the ball, go down, whatever. Like I think he can execute that. I think you have to trust him to execute that, if for no other reason than that has to be part of his development as a quarterback. And also, he had earned it. Like, it's not like he was out there pissing his pants and you guys were up in spite of Jackson Dart. And I know he threw the pick. I know that it's a bad pick or whatever. We talked about it. I think that he did not. They were showing zero. Like, they were showing a zero blitz. And then I forgot who the backer was that intercepted it, but he pulls out, and that's who Dart kind of like throws right to. And I actually think when Dart steps up, he initially doesn't see him, and then as he's going to release it, he does and tries to like get air on it. Yeah, he's trying to get air on it, and then
over his head. Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I just think he couldn't get enough air on it and whatever. Either way, fine. He turned the ball over. Like, so what? Now we're just not going to throw the ball the rest of the game? Like, I think that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous to me. And I just didn't like that entire sequence because you ended up giving the defense, you telegraphed every play. You didn't challenge them with anything. You never put them in conflict. You never made them make a decision. You just lined up and ran like power I. Like, you may as well just, like, literally, you may have just lined up and ran power I. Because at least you get an extra backer on the field then or something, or an extra blocker on the field. It was ridiculous. I thought that was, it was a joke. I have no another way to say that. And then, Shane Bowen thing. There's a lot of things that are wrong with whatever, but you pay your defensive line $1 bajillion. You invested a number 3 pick into Kayvon Thibodeau. You invested a number 5 pick on Kayvon Thibodeau, a number 3 pick on Abdul Carter. You obviously paid a second and a fifth, and then gave Brian Burns a massive contract. Dexter Lawrence is on big money. Like, you've invested a lot into this defensive line. And part of the reason you invested a lot in the defensive line is so that in obvious pass rushing situations, they can pin their ears back and you say go, and you take the chance. And that should theoretically, hopefully, help cover for your terrible secondary, which was depleted, by the way. Javon Holland injured. Paulson Adebo injured. Like, these are just it was the reality of the situation. To come out at 32-30 with, what was it, 31 seconds left or something? I forgot what the hell.
It
41,
was
whatever.
it was like somewhere between late 20s and like late 30s, something like that.
Whatever, however much time was left. Let's just call it 30 seconds. When you just had the situation like 3 weeks ago against the Cowboys, to come out and be like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have 3 guys rush, and then I'm going to drop 8. And not only am I going to drop 8, I'm also going to play man coverage. Like, how does any of that none of that aligns? Like, because again, you're sacrificing your strength defensively to get more of your weakness on the field, and then you're also aligning them in quite literally the dumbest fucking way possible in that situation. I thought that was nuts. And then of course Banks gets dunked on, which was, it's like, oh, okay, here we go. It's got to get this going. But yeah, I mean, Banks is just bad. It's what it is. Like, he's just bad.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
I mean, it's another, like, to go to rant on a couple different points. The staff, they make you kind of want to give them, at least to me, they make me want to give them another year by having great 3 quarters and having a great game against Dallas, having the great development of Jackson Dart and Cam and Marcus Bowe, who's looked good whenever he's had to play. So they make me want to give them some leeway and give them another year. But the reality of the situation is you can't, with the fact that they ended up losing both of the Dallas and the Denver games. The fact that they conservatively call on both sides of the ball when the game is on the line. Like, the Shane Bowen drop 8 into coverage, rush 3 stuff. I cannot give it all to Shane Bowen on that because, like Brian Daboll said in his press conference today, he hears all the play calls. He has power to veto all the play calls. And whether he's saying that just to save face with Shane Bowen or not, to me, doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, even if you cannot veto Shane Bowen's play call, you are actively making the decision now, 7 weeks into the season, to keep him on your staff. So that is his call. And with how they call the defense, how they call the offense, there is no faith, no confidence in anybody on either side of the ball to make a play to put the game away with how they call these plays. If you're calling essentially cover 3 man and dropping and only rushing 3, you do not have confidence. If you are going run pass up the B gap with a loaded box against Denver, you do not have confidence in Jackson Dart and Wandale and Theo Johnson, whoever the case may be, to make a play to really drive the stake through the heart of the team you're playing. And I'm kind of just sick of that shit, man. Like, these players earn the opportunity to be in that position for 3.5 quarters, and to go into your shell to kind of just, hey guys, I hope the clock hits 000 before they take the lead. That is bullshit, and that's not how you fucking win football games. Like, you have to finish football games. This is not the NBA where you can just survive the clock because a team.
Sometimes you can't even do that.
Sometimes, yeah. With if you're playing the Pacers, you can't. But like, teams are never going to really shoot themselves in the foot totally, because they're going to be passing, they're going to be aggressive, they're going to be taking their shots, and you still have to make plays to keep them out of the game. I find the staff building up positives for themselves throughout, these performances and throughout the week, with Flott getting better, and you could pick the interior of the line kind of all meshing together, and JMS having some level of improvement. But nothing can redeem you if you are, one, making the abhorrent kicker decisions that they keep making. And Graham Gano is going to be the only fucking active kicker again on Sunday. We'll see how that goes. That is ridiculous, number one. The stuff I talked about being conservative, number two. And then it seems like Brian Daboll gets in this fucking snippy place with the media when they win, and then when they get close to winning and then choke, and he plays like this holier than thou shit. I mean, I can't stand that. Like, he was given such sass when he was answering his questions about how much time he spends with the defense today, and he never gave a straight answer. he was like, yeah, I'm in the meetings, and I talked to Shane and I watched the practice, and they were like,
he's in the meeting sending Jackson Dart like, hey, there's this sick Josh Allen comp.
he like sends the Josh Allen rollout. He's like, reminded me of you, and then he sends the eggplant emoji. Like, all right, bro.
It's just I'll just say this with Daboll, like his entire reputation is like this quarterback guru is based on, there's like offensive genius stuff. It's literally based on, he was at Alabama, which I don't know if you know this. Alabama during his time there, they had some pretty good players, and they often had a talent advantage. That's one thing. It's one thing you can say about Alabama. He also coached under this guy Nick Saban, who I again not sure if you're aware, but one of the great college coaches. Some are saying the best college coach of all time. That was who he coached for, and then he goes to Buffalo, and like, look, he deserves credit for like being there when Josh Allen is there, but like, do you believe that he was like singularly responsible for this development of his? Like, no, I think you get credit for creating the environment, sure, but he didn't do that himself. Like this is, and let's be fully honest, like this is not like you didn't take some like journeyman quarterback and build out like a high functioning offense around this guy. Like what Stain Steichen is doing right now, right? That is indicative of a coach elevating a quarterback and getting the most out of him and putting him in a system that is not overloading him and is giving him the exact amount that he's fully capable of doing. And like, sure, some of that is you have the personnel to do that, but obviously Steichen can scheme up. And I don't know what evidence we have of like Daboll really being able to do that. The evidence seems to be Josh Allen. And it's like, I just don't really buy that argument. To go back to what you were talking about earlier, why I don't think John Mara is not going to do anything. He's not going to clean house. He should clean house, but he's not going to do it. And the reason why I think they should clean house is a few things. One is like this whole argument of like, well, Joe Shane has built up the talent level, and like this is the most talent they've had in forever, and they're actually very close. I agree this is the most talent they've had in forever. I agree that they're actually not that far off from being like a pretty solid, okay team. You've had 4 years. Like that's the fucking bare minimum that should be expected. If you clean your slate and then for 4 years you're building out that, and you've spent money in free agency, you've drafted high each year at the top of each round, like the bare minimum is that. That is the bare minimum. And this is the NFL, right? This is not the NBA. In the NBA, like not only do you control your players during their rookie contracts, but then you have that heavy, obviously, like you get the benefit of restricted free agency, so now you can control them and whatever. And there's all these mechanisms, right, to go over the cap and whatever. They're also not sacrificing their bodies. They're like the timeline of a good NBA player is at minimum is like what, 10 years now? Like a good NBA player lasts in the NBA for 10 years. A good NFL player might only have the rookie contract and a couple of years after that. Like that really might be it.
They're probably honestly signing like a second contract. Let's say for a good NFL starter, right? Depending on what position you play, obviously. Let's take into example John Runyon, right? Gets a 3-year, $27 million contract, I believe it was, or $27 or $30 million contract. So around $9 or $10 million a year. He's going to get cut in year two. After year two. He's going to make whatever he was as, I believe, a late day 2 or early day 3 pick. So it's probably around, over the course of his 4-year rookie deal, he'll probably make around $5 million total. With his year 1 and year 2 payouts in the second contract, he'll probably make career earnings wise like high teens, low 20s. and then he's going to be a veteran minimum guy unless he has a huge bounce back season somewhere. So like, what huge financial constraints has Joe Shane had? Like the Gettleman stuff has been cleaned up.
It's not just the financial constraints, though. It's like 4 years, right? Like you have 4 years. You don't get throwaway. Like you get maybe max.
2.
This is not the NBA. You get max 1 throwaway season as a GM in the NFL, because after that, like these guys' careers are precious, man. Like health in the NFL is not a guarantee. And
Aaron Glenn gets 2 throwaway seasons, by the way.
Who?
Just Aaron Glenn gets 2 throwaway seasons. Just saying.
This one might count as 2. But like, these guys you have, they're precious, man. Like Malik Neighbors, you had his rookie season, right? He was fantastic. This year, he looks like he's going to have another monster year. He gets hurt. Now, it's an ACL tear. We know that ACL tears now are not the close to like career enders or even career alterers that they used to be. But the point is like, okay, well now year 2 is gone, right? Now he's on to his 3rd year. Like it is. These guys' careers are they're so much shorter than the NBA. They're so much shorter than baseball. You have to win when you have the talent, because you know what's going to happen, right? What happens after 4 years? Now you're going to have to start paying guys that you drafted. Now Wandale, he's earning himself a nice little contract, by the way, right?
Yeah.
He's earning himself some money. Kayvon Thibodeau, you've got to make a decision on him. He might be out of the door because you might not be able to afford or don't want to pay him what he's worth. Like, so you have burned through these guys' rookie deals, and you're trying to tell me, well, the talent level is better, and it's okay, but like you get 4 years, at some point you got to start winning games. It's that simple. Like, and that's really in any sport, but especially in the NFL. If you have 4 fucking years, you need to start winning games. And yes, is there explanations for why they didn't win games? Yeah, sure. And if you want to pin it on the coaches, fine. Who hired the coaches? And you've stuck with Daboll this long, so that's on you too as the GM, right? And you've allowed Daboll to have a lot of say in his staff, which is fine. Like, that's how it should be. But ultimately, all of that falls on you too. So these are the guys in a make or break year, like what should have been a make or break year anyway, and what John Mara seemed to indicate needed to, they had to win games, whatever that meant. Like in a make or break year, these are the decisions you made. So I have to judge you on the results at that point, and the results haven't been good enough. Now it's 2-6 right now? Is that right?
2-5.
2-5. Like, so it's early. They still have a chance, obviously, to like maybe they can turn things around and get back to 500 or whatever. They should get the year. I don't mind saying that. I think the product has improved enough that they at least deserve the year. But at the end of this year, if you're sitting there and it's, you're 5-12 and you're picking 7th again, like, I don't really understand what the argument is to keep them, just because it's like, oh, well, Joe Shane raised the talent level and Jackson Dart looks good. Like, yeah, Jackson Dart looks good. I'm not sure Jackson Dart looks good because Daboll is scheming it up. I think Jackson Dart looks good because he's making shit happen. And yeah, I reject the idea that like, well, the talent level's better, so this guy deserves it. It's like, well, I mean, if you hire a good even if you believe that, let's say you believe it, right? The talent level's good. Okay. So you're telling me that a good GM would come in and be like, the talent level's good. Oh shit, I don't know what to do. No, a good GM would come in and be like, oh, the talent level's good. Let me build off of this. That's how it works. Like, I just don't understand the concept of like, well, the talent level's good, so we should keep Joe Shane. Okay, well, can he build a fucking winning program? Because he hasn't shown that at all. In fact, the most successful he had was when his hands were tied. His hands were tied, and he didn't have the ability to change the roster the way he did. And then what did he do? He has terrible their self-evaluation of their own talent might be the most concerning thing about everything they're doing. Like, they didn't like
they give everybody a free pass. Everybody who they draft gets a fucking free pass. That's the worst part of things.
And it's like Julian Love, this guy, he was good for the Giants. I thought the year he played, the first year with Joe Shane, he goes out. He's with the Seahawks now. He's a good player for them. Like, he's a starting fucking safety for them. Like, it's just like, and then obviously, you get the Xavier McKinney thing, right? That's okay. You chose not to pay him. Now the guy's like top 5 safety in the league. I'm not, the Barkley thing, I don't give a shit about. That's fine, whatever. But like, I think the Julian Love, and the Xavier those two things to me are like mega concerning because these are quality starters, and they're quality starters in your position groups that are among the worst on the team currently.
It's just that when you look at the role that McKinney played and the role that Nubin's played, they are not the same role. Like Nubin is much more line of scrimmage, much more cover two, take half of the field. McKinney is a guy who, if you're cover one, McKinney can be the deep safety and play the whole field almost, and play confidently, like literally sideline to sideline. So it's the thing with drafting Nubin in the second round is not that okay, you let McKinney go and now Nubin comes in and it's fine. Nubin was the correction for letting Julian Love go. And if you're looking at how much Julian Love got paid, it was a two-year deal for $14 million, $7 million annually. You're playing a second round pick to replace $7 million on a team that has, well, every team has this, almost a $300 million cap sheet to spend money on. Like, what is the equivalent there? There is such a disconnect in your dollars, like for every like pass breakup, sack, tackles, all this stuff has some type of dollar equivalent, and paying for it instead of paying for this, paying up with a second round pick. Hindsight, you make that shit 100 out of 100 times. You just pay Julian Love instead. So it's frustrating to see him, Deonte Banks, somehow keep working his way on the field. Like Dane Belton has been better than Tyler Nubin this year. Just saying that too. But him, Deonte Banks, Evan Neal for a while, even though I kind of have to crawl on that one because I wasn't totally against him continuing to play. The Jalen Hyatt stuff. This team is so self-limiting in so many different ways.
The NFL is all about cycling through guys that's like, especially on the fringes of your position groups, you cycle through those guys. You do not keep them. Like, if they are not delivering at a level that's acceptable, you do not keep them. And the Giants have, like you said, like if they draft you, it's like, oh, well, we got to give him another chance because 3 years ago we thought he was going to be a stud. It's like, okay, that was 3 fucking years ago. Like, well, you still think you're still the same eval on Deonte Banks? You still the same eval on Jalen Hyatt? You still like if you're the same eval on these guys, that's insanely concerning, right? I mean,
Jalen Hyatt should be cut. He like Ray McLeod. Jalen Hyatt should be cut. I think Ray McLeod should be in the active roster. He's probably the second best receiver they have today. Yeah, as he was cut from the Atlanta Falcons. Like that's
but he might have he might have a video shoot to do, so might be busy.
Is that
he had like a rap video come out when he was on the Falcons.
It's all right. We need a little Kadarius Toney vibe.
No, I actually think Ray McLeod is like, he's nothing special, but I'd rather have him than Jalen Hyatt, like no question.
Absolutely. I mean, the guys who've been on the field for us, and little Jordan Humphrey's like, he came through against the Eagles, which is why I won't say a bad thing about him. But he is getting snapped for us, like as our X receiver, which is a problem. So with Slayton hurt, little Jordan out there almost full time, Bo Collins out there a lot of the time, Jalen Hyatt, Gunnar Olszewski's playing like when somebody comes out for a sub, Gunnar Olszewski's in the game, and that's just not going to lead to producing yards, right? Like a good environment for the quarterback, all that type of stuff. So I'm hoping that when Slayton's back and when Ray in the fold, there's some semblance of a decent passing game when we're in 11 personnel. But it does suck that you're 4 games into Dart's rookie season, and while you can tell he is probably going to be really, really good, you aren't going to get anything out of this season in terms of winning and a legitimate culture change in the win-loss column, right? Like the culture changes, it's happened kind of with Dart being such a big star and Cam Skadwood being such a big star, and how they play the game, just kind of not giving a fuck about anything related to their health. But at a certain point, you can't play like that and be 2-13, right? Going into week 16. Like that's just not what's going to fly with these guys who have hopefully 6, 7, 8, 9 in the case of Cam, and then like 15 plus for Dart, right? Like years going forward onto their career. So,
well, even think about like Burns. I think it was after they beat the Eagles, right? There was like that huge article about like he sat the team down or whatever and like gave them this huge fucking speech about, you know, he has never been in the playoffs and like I don't think he's never had a winning season in the NFL and like whatever. But that's the point I'm making. Like these guys don't have forever. Like Burns is what, 27?
I think 26, but it's the same thing.
Yeah. But like in the NBA, you'd be like, okay, we fucked up this kind of like build around this guy, but he's 26. Like we still have time. We can work things around. In the NFL, like he could be fucking done in 2 years for all we know. Like edge rushers, I think good edge rushers seem to just defensive linemen in general, good ones can like last a while. But like
he's 27, by the way.
Yeah, but you get my point where it's like there's no guarantee. Like you even if Burns is still good, right, moving forward, which I think he will be. This might be the best year of his career, and you would have wasted it on nothing. Like Dexter Lawrence had an insane year last year before he got hurt, and you wasted it. Like Neighbors had an amazing year last year. You wasted it. Like you can't waste years. Like you can't waste years. I said this as a Bills fan. Like I wouldn't say we've wasted years of Josh Allen's career, but like when you get to a certain point, you're like, it feels like, oh, well, he was awesome this year, and then we lost to the Chiefs. That is a waste of a year. Oh, he was awesome this year, we lost to the Chiefs. It was a waste of a year. Like that's how you have to view this stuff when you get these players, when you get these guys that are legitimate difference makers and superstars. Like you have to value this stuff. And like, I'm sorry, like being 2-5 or 2-4, it's bullshit. Like it's bullshit. To call that like any type of success, because like you've lost at least one game, at least one game that you had no business losing. This Broncos game, you lost another to the Cowboys that like really you should win that game, and then you lost to the Saints. Like okay, you had a meltdown. I don't know how much you really put on the coaching there when you had like everybody just fumbles the ball all of a sudden. It's like all right, what are you gonna do? But like I would even say the fucking Commanders game, the first game of the year. Like what the fuck is that? Like you just come out.
They were so unprepared in that game. They were so unprepared in that game. And another great thing to have with Dable.
Why did they lose? Why did they actually lose this Broncos game? Just the one basic thing they could have done. Why did they lose it? Forget the coaching. Forget the fucking broader general manager points. You have a fucking kicker that's never made a kick past 40 fucking yards? The guy was a second string kicker in college or whatever? Like, that is absurd. That's absurd. And this is what, like, how many games have the Giants lost in the last 3 years that you would chalk up to, like, at least one of the major reasons just being like, we didn't have a kicker available?
It's minimum 4.
That's absurd. Like, you should not keep your job. Kicker is like that is like the position. I forgot. I think me and Omar were talking about this. It's like third string point guard in the NBA, where it's just like that position doesn't. If that guy sucks, you just go get another one. Like you just go get another one.
You just find one
of those guys. Yeah, there's a billion of those guys out there. Younghoe Koo's on your practice squad. I don't give a shit what happened in the kicking competition. Younghoe Koo's actually an NFL kicker. Like, actually is. This fucking guy, he won a fucking contest or something? Does he have compromat on Joe Shane? Like, it's ridiculous that he's even on the roster.
The legitimate reason why he was on the roster, and they could say he won the competition and whatever, I do not subscribe to that. The legitimate reason why he's on the roster is because he was signed with an international player exemption. So if, we brought up the thing before about the talent that Joe Shane's brought in and cap sheets and all that type of stuff, 4 years in, he's in the type of spot where he has to sign somebody to an international player exemption to stay under the cap. That's not a feather in his cap, exactly.
Also, you need to sign an international player? There's this fucking sport. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called soccer. There's about a billion players in the world that play this sport. and they all kick the ball really fucking far. Actually, the Cowboys have one. He's their kicker. He routinely makes 65-yarders like they're point afters. Go sign a fucking like third division soccer player from Argentina, and that guy can probably be a better kicker than this fucking guy.
What's funny is when I was in high school, we had our coach go to the soccer tryout, and whatever kids got cut, he made him kick the football, and we had him one of them on our team.
That's actually awesome.
So it's not exactly a foreign concept, especially for an NFL team to grasp. I think we go spread them now. Well, before we go there, I just wanted to say this because the guy deserves the recognition. Brian Burns, we brought him up earlier. He is. Wait 1 second. I have to delay so I can find this stat about Brian Burns. Okay. Total seasons with the stat line so far through 7 games, right? 9 sacks, 12 tackles for loss. It has been done 7 times since 2000. Brian Burns this year, Daniil Hunter 2 years ago, J.J. Watt, DeMarcus Ware twice, Michael Strahan, Leroy Glover. So, in 25 seasons, what happened?
So that's he's in good company.
He's with a couple nice names, So, to be the second guy in 25 years to do that and to be 2-5, forget cursing out Shane Bowen on the way back to the locker room. He should probably snap his neck. So,
but like it's like there's just no accountability for any of this stuff. It's like, oh well, Shane Bowen, we hired him, so he has to get the full year. Like I don't know, man. It's hard for me to imagine that you don't have somebody in the building that could call accurate. It's not like Shane Bowen's doing some job that, oh, what's going to happen? The bottom's going to fall out. Like you just gave up 33 fucking points in a quarter. I don't think the bottom.
What gets worse than that? What gets worse than that? I'm leaving it alone now. Fuck it. Like we said before, the great sponsor of this podcast is FanDuel Sportsbook. If you're looking for any place to go place your bets, legally, of course, because we don't do anything illegal with betting around here. FanDuel Sportsbook is the place to be. All odds, all games, picks, props, whatever referenced, will be from FanDuel Sportsbook. So I think week 8, as maybe insane as it might be to take an 11.5-point favorite, I think Chiefs Commanders in KC, no Jaden Daniels, Rashee Rice is finally back and he had 2 touchdowns already last week. I don't see this.
Let's give him a little credit. This is one of the bravest comebacks we've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a real, like blue collar guy, gives back to the community a lot,
and just such a uplifting story. Everything he's overcome. Yeah.
When you think of good stories like James Conner, Eric Berry, Rashee Rice, he's that type of guy. There's not going to be too much into this besides Patrick Mahomes versus Marcus Mariota. In Arrowhead, Chiefs are presumably fully healthy. They've kind of taken Kareem Hunt out of the running back rotation. Brashard Smith got 14 carries last week. Pacheco's snaps have gone up, I believe, every single week since week 2. So it seems like when it comes to personnel with Rice back, like we talked about, they're rounding out the RB room pretty well. The O-line's meshing again without Joe Thuney. They look primed to have another great season, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, this was like the most predictable thing ever. Like this earliest part of their schedule was difficult, but they were never going to be worse than like 3-3, really. And that's why, like, I just didn't really understand. I felt like a lot of their fans were freaking out, and I'm like, you're going to get Rashee Rice back in week 6 and it'll be fine. Like, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Because once you get Rice back, everybody slots into their spots. And Patrick Mahomes is throwing the ball deep again, which was, I don't know, he abandoned that for a couple of years for whatever reason. We'll see. But yeah, no, they're fine. They're fine. This is a good spot for them. I'd be shocked if they don't cover this. I think this is I mean, the Commanders without Jaden Daniels, I'm not sure. I don't even like, and we talked about this in the offseason. I didn't like any of the moves they made, really. And
that was one of our best hits in the offseason.
It's just, they're just old. Like, I don't understand why you are putting the oldest roster around a franchise guy you drafted in. Like, I don't know. I don't understand it. Their defense got absolutely blitzed last week. I mean, that was a shit show. So yeah, Chiefs, they got the full complement of weapons. The O-line, like you said, it's clicking. I think their defense has figured out some stuff. They've been weird. The Chiefs, like they obviously smoke the Raiders last week, but before that they have the loss to the Jaguars, which like it's not a terrible loss or anything, but it was one of those games where you're still kind of like, okay, they're still not totally clicking on all cylinders. There's still things here. I don't think their defense is dominant or anything, but it's definitely in a better place than it was in the first couple of weeks of the season. And quite frankly, I think a lot of teams have kind of figured out the Commanders don't have that much juice on offense, honestly. No. And, look, I think the Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt thing is like a fun story, but, the guy got drafted where he got drafted for a reason. Like, he's not a superstar running back, not right now anyway. I also feel like the only guy in their offense that's ever open is Zach Ertz. So, like that guy's gonna be fucking. He's like Jason Wynn. He could be like 41, and you're like, okay, I guess he got open. I don't know how that happened, but he did.
He just needs to like understand that he has a wife on the women's national football team, right? The soccer team.
Yes.
You could just go home to her and leave this life behind you. This life of like getting hit in the head and like blocking 300-pound defensive linemen. Like you could just stop. You could just go home.
It's so funny though, because he's reached that exact point Jason Witten did, where it's like they will get open, but once they catch the ball, the play is over.
Yeah, they go down.
Yeah, there's nothing else happening on that play.
Well, he scored, what was it, 2 touchdowns against the Giants week 1, or just so. 1 touchdown? But
he just was open the entire game, and you're like, how is this guy that can't fucking move? How is he open all the time? No, I like that one. I like Chiefs there a lot.
Something that I was just on the Strickland account right now because I want to retweet the live stream. Somebody sent us an AI picture of our logo remade, and I just want to be like, dude, why did you poison the kid's water for this, man? What are you doing?
What was the goal here? Yeah, no, I like that. I kind of like the Patriots here -7 at home to the Browns. I just don't really see how the Browns. I don't think they have juice. They don't have juice offensively. I guess they do. They have Judkins. That's it. Like that's their kind of.
Who's been fantastic, by the way.
Yeah. Yep. Have him in our great dynasty league. Like that. But I think the one thing I will say about this matchup is that Browns defense is probably the best defense they will play this year, or at least that they have played to this date. That Browns secondary is pretty good. I think May will still be fine. He's so talented. I don't question that. But they've been thriving on, they've been getting a lot of deep shots in these last couple of weeks. And
yes,
I do not think they are going to have that. They're not just going to get the steady stream of explosives that they've been feeding on. So I think they're going to have to show that they can drive down the field consistently on a team as good as the Browns. And every metric I've seen of pass rushing stats is just all these guys are really good. And then there's Myles Garrett, who is like actually playing a different sport over here, all the way in the top right of this graph.
Yeah, Miles. I'm waiting. Like, when is he gonna not be the best non-quarterback in football? Like, is it gonna be when he's 34? Because like I think he's 29 right now,
Yeah, he is.
and I don't like. Is there an end in sight to what that guy's doing, man? Like, I don't know. It's a shame that we were talking about Brian Burns and Dexter Lawrence before, and he's in that category of players that are just like wasted because he's still in Cleveland.
I will say though, I don't feel bad for him.
Well, he re-upped there, yeah.
Well, yeah, because he had already gotten his initial payday, and then he requested a trade and released this entire fucking thing about how it's about winning now, and like he wants to feel competitive. And then they were like, "Okay, that's great. What if we just pay you like $1 bajillion?" And he was like, "You know what? I think we can win here."
No, they had. I remember they had the meeting about the quarterback plans, and he was like,
Yeah.
"What are we gonna do?" And they were like, "Shador,
Dylan Gabriel."
Dylan Gabriel," and he was like, "Fucking just when I think I'm out, they pull me back in." That's exactly. So
why didn't you say that earlier? Why didn't you just tell me that from the beginning?
I hope this is like one of those what's like the NBA situations where like the guy gets his max contract and then he's like, actually, can you trade me? I forgot. I was serious about that and I forgot about it.
Yeah, the thing is that then you offered me $300 million and I just had to sign it. Sorry. No, so that's the concern though, right? It's Myles Garrett against a rookie left tackle. You know, that's just not the greatest matchup ever. But I don't know. I like the way the Patriots are playing. I think their defense, even though the pass rush kind of stinks, that probably shouldn't matter this week. I like the middle of their line is looking really, really solid. Getting Milton Williams obviously has been huge, and you get Barmore is kind of rolling. He's getting back into form, so that's been good. And their secondary is just like, I mean, it's fucking absurd how good that secondary is. So I like the spot for them. They're at home too. This is a home game for them, so they get to come home after a couple of weeks on the road. So I will go with
Gonzalez being kind of in and out of the lineup so far with the hamstring stuff. They've been fantastic on the back end.
I think he's playing this week though. I believe he's playing this week.
I think he is. I know he was at least like a close decision last week.
I mean, look, let's just say if Christian Gonzalez doesn't play, I'm not sure that should matter too much given the state of the Browns passing game at this moment in time.
Yeah, fair. Which is referring to it as a passing game is very kind of you. So I like a lot of the bigger spreads this week. Like I debated on Buffalo -7.5 coming off of the bye. I think the Dolphins have mailed it in, even though it's 7 games in. So like without Tyreek, without Darren Waller, Falcons -7.5 at home. Like I have no problem taking that. Philly -7.5 at home if AJ Brown plays. I don't
think that's a good reverse jinx.
You see right through me, man. This one is super nasty because of how big the line is, but I bet
the Colts.
I bet the Titans with the points last week, and it was just shocking how bad they were. So like, Colts at home against the Titans, 14.5. I don't know. Like it's enticing to just bet against the Titans right now. That's
so what you're actually betting on there is like, can the Colts get this to like? Can they be up 24 when the Titans inevitably have like the ball with 2:36 left and all the bums are on the field?
I was gonna say like you're rooting for probably a 24-point lead.
Yeah,
because if they're up 21, right? They're gonna
A
are they gonna
touchdown,
go
you
for
get
2?
back, you get backdoored on a late touchdown. Then
It depends if they
that's
go
what the
for 2
spread
or
is.
not.
The spread is actually not 14.5. Like it is 14.5, but you're actually betting on like a very specific game state. That's the annoying thing about the spread. But I do think that they cover it. I mean, they've been a juggernaut offensively. I think this Titans team is like they got their win. You know what I mean? They got their win, so they
I
don't
know
have
who
to worry.
have their win.
Yeah, they don't have to worry about like like we're gonna be the first 0-17 team. They might be mailing it in here because look, I bet you some of these vets are probably like, "Can you guys fucking trade us? Like, what am I doing here in this roster?" Like Jeffrey Simmons, this guy must be like, "Please just send me anywhere that is not here right now."
Between him and Quinnen, like those are 2 guys who really can reshape the playoff race if they get traded.
If we want to do the Jets thing, we can just do the Jets thing. Like, they should be blowing this team up. Anybody that they can move that makes salary cap sense to move and return actual draft equity, that is what they need to do. This team is not going anywhere. The let's try to be good while we rebuild thing did not work out. It has not worked out this year. Aaron Glenn just doesn't seem like he has any concept of what he's doing as a decision maker. It is good that their their defense rather has picked up the last few weeks, but I don't know how much of that was really about their defense as much as like you get the weird Europe game and then you get the Panthers and you still lost both those games. But yeah, Quinnen and Quincy, like they both should be traded because they actually will return good draft capital. And if you're being realistic, like they're not going to be on the next good Jets team. Like that's it. Like it's really that simple to me. They are not going to be on the next good Jets team.
Or at least they won't be like if Quinnen's on the open market, are you getting because he's paid up? Are you getting a 2 and a 3? Like that's probably what you're looking at, right?
I mean, that's what did Leonard Williams? Didn't Leonard Williams return a 3 twice? A 3 and a 5, right?
So we gave up a 3rd for him for when we traded him away. He got us back a 2 and a 4.
I would say Quinnen is probably more highly regarded than Leonard Williams was when he was traded from the Giants. So yeah, 2 and a 3 or 2 and at least like a high 4. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I mean, is he going to be worth? Let's even call it because I think this isn't out of the realm of possibilities. Let's say 2 2s for Quinnen Williams. Is he worth 2 2s in 4 seasons? Because realistically, that's when the next window is going to be. Like even if you hit on quarterback, this team is in a state right now where you can hit on quarterback and still probably it's safe to assume that you're not going to be a contender for 2 more years after that, which is fine. Like the Giants hit on quarterback and they're not a contender this year, next year, maybe not the year after. We'll see. So when he is 31 years old, wow, he's 28, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Did you know he was
like they, know. This is another like they you know who's doing this right now? The Texans are doing this right now. They are wasting years of having an elite defense.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Elite defense.
Oh my god, Steph Curry, holy shit.
What did he do?
He just hit like a fucking 30-foot bomb after Gordon hit a 3.
Is this close? Am I gonna have to put this game on?
It's tied. It's 120 with 21 seconds left.
Oh shit. Well, it sucks that I'm not next to a TV. Oh well. Fuck. So with the Jets, like Quinnen, trade him. I'm trying to see who else. I mean, Will McDonald is 26. That is crazy. Like Will McDonald and Jermaine are both 26. That's crazy. Michael Carter's 26. Who else do we have over here? That was shocking to me that those 3 guys are 26 years old. But McDonald and Johnson are pretty old coming in.
Yeah, they just wasted this defense. Like they had like a 3-year run of like having an elite defense and they did jack shit with it.
I mean,
Again.
Is there a
Quinnen
player you extend? Is there a player you think like? Because I think MC2 Michael Carter, you trade him. He has team control, so he'll fetch you a decent return. Quinnen, I think you should trade because he's 28. G-Dub, Sauce, I think you keep Jermaine. I think.
Yeah, I think you pay Jermaine to keep him.
I wonder if they would trade away Will McDonald though, because they can sell high on him because he's a pretty decent player, and he has 2 years of control on rookie salary with the 5th year option.
Yeah, the thing that's weird with they've just been using him almost exclusively on passing downs, right?
Yeah, and I think honestly that's a bunch of bullshit.
Right, but like they don't seem to value him beyond that, so that might be a tell on like would they trade him?
Yeah, I agree there. You got to make the like they got fucked with this AVT injury too. That sucked.
Yeah, that's what 3 years in a row he's had basically season-ending injuries, right?
Yeah, or 3 out of 4 at least, whatever the case is. Obviously, this goes without saying. Like Breece Hall has to get traded. I think we all know that. Yeah, I mean, I think that sums it up for the Jets. Like if they can trade Breece for. I mean, if you get a 3, you're happy. You probably get a 4 right now. But Breece for a 4, you get, let's say, a 2 and a 3 from Quinnen. I don't know about the Quincy decision. I struggle with that. I don't think you want to purge everything from this team. But
are you sure?
No, I'd trade him. He's 29. I would trade him.
Yeah, he's an athletic. His entire thing is like he's like he's just an athletic linebacker. Like really, like that's the guy. You definitely trade that guy before age 30 in their position. Like you're not competing. If you're competing, obviously it's different, but you're not.
I don't know what linebacker trade comps there are for Quincy.
Not many, because
Like
Roquan was traded at 25 or something, right?
Damn. Let me see.
Mosley wasn't traded; they signed Mosley, so that's
No.
its own thing. But that's a good example. Like Mosley was good for a year, and then some of it's injury related, but
yeah, Roquan was 25.
Yeah.
You probably get
I just
5 for Quincy, 4.
If you get a 5, it's like just get as many picks as you can, and then you can start packing. You can look at like packaging up in the draft and stuff like that. Like you don't want to keep 13 picks, but get picks. Like you're not good. Like be realistic about where you are. Honestly, like be realistic. You don't have a quarterback. You don't have weapons outside of Garrett Wilson. You don't have a fully. Your defense has fallen off because of attrition. Like you just have lost guys. Your cap can, it. I don't think Joe Douglas did a great job of managing the cap. You probably got a lot of dead cap in the long-term future.
Yeah, a lot.
Which is not a killer if you are realistic about where you are as an organization. And where you are as an organization is that you should probably trade guys and get picks. Like I don't know.
Well, so looking forward, they have tackle, center, tackle. John Simpson's the free agent, right guard. AVT's a free agent. They need quite literally receiver 1, 2. Receiver 2, 3, 4 next to Garrett Wilson. They had the tight end Mason Taylor, who's been really good actually.
Yeah, he's good. He looks good.
You're gonna have to pay Jermaine, which is one edge. You have another edge, and the rest of the edge room there. Jawan Briggs. I don't know if you've been crunching Jawan Briggs' defensive tackle tape, but he's been decent. And if you trade Quinnen, that's one defensive tackle that you have. So like him, Damian Sherwood is your one linebacker. If you trade away Quincy, you have kind of your cornerback room filled out with Sauce, Michael Carter if he's not traded, and Brandon Stevens. But like the safety room needs 3 safeties. So I think they would even prefer, like, let's say somebody offered a 1 for Quinnen, do you take a 2 and a 3 over the 1? Like, let's say it's the 28th pick in the first round, and then, like, the second is pick 47, and the third is, like, pick 62.
I would rather have the second and third because you're going to have a high first this year. You might have
There's so many holes for this team. It's ridiculous.
Thank you, Joe Douglas.
Yeah, I'm obviously familiar with the Jets, and like I watch the Jets a whole lot, but looking at the multi-year contract breakdown on Spotrac, like it isn't Spotrac, is it Spot Rack?
I always call it Spotrac.
I call it Spotrac too. There's so many gaping holes in this roster, which I'm sorry for my Jets fans listening.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go watch Steph Curry. Is it an overtime?
Yeah, it is.
Let's go.
All right.
Yeah, we'll sign off. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Probably the episode for the week, but we'll see what happens tomorrow. Go Giants! Please tweet Philly. Just doing anything you want to leave off on.
Please throw the ball down the field. Buffalo would be nice.
And I think it goes without saying, next season's back in full swing. Should be locked in on everything Knicks. We're at the Strickland with Sean and Stacy. Post-game recaps with Sam and Tyrese, whoever may be joining them on whatever night. And yeah, you're home for everything Knicks coverage this season. Hopefully it ends up with us going down the Canyon of Heroes, right? That's what it's called?
Yes, the Canyon of Heroes. We're going.
Yes. All right. Thank you all for tuning in. See you on the next one.